Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to talk about are two premium watch companies. One is Audemars Piguet and the other one is Lange und Söhne. Have trouble with my German, I'm sorry. So let's take a look at these. We have one Swiss and one German. Now, before I get started, let me say something. In going through this, what I tried to do is try to find watches that were comparable in some way, maybe in price or in function and so forth. But I found out that wasn't always possible. So bear with me and let's take a look at these watches. The first one we're going to look at is probably the most famous uh, Audemars Piguet, the Royal Oak Jumbo extra thin. Now, the extra thin, this particular one is a little more expensive than I think what they just call the Royal Oak period of stainless steel. This one is 28,900, and I think the base one is around 22,000. So, but I like this one better, so that's how I come selected this one. 39 millimeter stainless steel. One thing I found out about Audemars Piguet, and actually with Lange und Söhne, is that they're using the lower hertz rates, which I like, the lower frequencies. And you find that in all of your top watchmakers. They're using lower frequencies. And people say, gee, why do they do that? Well, they got a lot of reasons for it. Okay, this one has a caliber 2121, 2.75 hertz. Very sort of an unusual one, 19,800 VPH. It's an automatic, the Royal Oak Jumbo Extra Thin. Love that watch. To me, it's an ideal sports watch. Now, the Saxonia Automatic by A. Lange isn't anywhere near that in terms of the kind of watch it is. It's more of a formal watch, sort of an executive suite kind of watch. It's got a caliber L 086.1. By the way, for both of these companies, all the watches are manufactured by them. It's 27,600. 38.5 millimeters. One of the things about some of the Saxonias that I don't have up here that I wasn't crazy about, well, they're pretty small. But if you got a smaller wrist, it's just what you need. Now, the next two are on the left. There is the Lange 1815 up down. Again, these are very straightforward, what you might call an office watch. Both of these are sort of an everyday kind of watch. Now this one's another 3 hertz watch by Lange, 32,800. The up down has to do with the power reserve indicator over there around 8 o'clock. And it's hand wound. That's another thing I like about a lot of these really great watches are hand wound. 39 millimeters in white gold. Now, the Audemars Piguet, one of the newer models is called the Code 1159. This particular one is a self-winding model, 41 millimeters white gold with burgundy dial, caliber 4302, automatic 4 hertz. Now, this is one of the few from Audemars Piguet with 4 hertz, and it's this one's $30,200. These watches are awfully expensive. But the quality, the craftsmanship, and everything else that goes into them is pretty good. Now, another type of Royal Oak is called the Offshore, and to me, the Offshore is an actual sports watch. It's the kind of thing as a diver. It's called the Offshore Diver. I don't know if I would go diving in a $22,000 watch. Some people might, but I wouldn't. And this one is one of their lower price ones, right, near $20,000. They have the center, the design in the center, to refer to this as mega tapestry, and for tapestry. Okay, this is the mega one. The one on the first one we looked at, the first Royal Oak, was just a regular tapestry look to it. This one is another one. This one's 3 hertz and caliber 3120 automatic, and this one is in stainless steel. Now, one that's sort of close to it is the Audemars from Lange. This one's got a caliber 155.1, 4 hertz, water resistance up to 120 meters compared to the Offshore Diver, which is down to 300. This one's 40.5 millimeters, stainless steel, and it's got a big day date. Over at 9 o'clock is the day of the week, and then at 3 o'clock is the date, with the small second down at 6 o'clock. This is a watch that is with a bracelet and so forth. This would be pretty close to their sports watch. Now, this next two, this is a strange comparison. They have Audemars Piguet has this thing called Remaster 01 chronograph, and they don't give the caliber for it. I was trying to find a caliber, and they described it, and they also described the width as 38 to 41 millimeters. And I think what they have is that they literally remaster. They take some old ones and they fix them up. It's got a stainless steel case, and then an 18 karat pink gold bezel, crown, and pushers. So it's an unusual watch over on the right there. Now on the left, the data graph up, down, that watch is one that Philippe Dufour said that's the best serial produced watch. I love the term he used, serial produced, which means that there's some kind of assembly line involved, but not a big one, I should think. This one's got a caliber L95 1.6 flyback chronograph, hand wound, 2.5 hertz, 18,000 VPH. Both of these watches are to me really spectacular. $82,000. That's a lot. Most of these I can't afford anyway. Now the final one, our final two I have here, one's called the Millinery Aventurine. It's white. It's got a white gold bracelet. That would really be something. 39.5 millimeters, white gold, caliber 5201, hand wound, 3 hertz, 59,600. It's almost $60,000 watch. Now the Millinery, the thing about the Millinery is that in the secondary market, you can find some plain ones that have been discontinued. And that's one way, if you can get if you're interested in having an Audemars Piguet, one way to get them is through that. Now, again, almost $60,000 for a Millinery. You can find them for much less than that. I mean, a whole lot less than that, a fraction of that. So if you're interested in a Millinery, they have a few left that are the older ones that are pretty plain, and but they're that interesting oblong shape. Now, the final one from Lange is called the Zeitwerk. And the Zeitwerk is interesting because it has 3 discs inside. It has for the minute, over at 3 o'clock, it has 2 discs that'll have the first and then another one for the second digit. And that example is showing 752. So you've got these 3 discs for a digital readout in a purely mechanical watch. And the Zeitwerk, this one is 41.9 millimeters, white gold, and hand wound. I mean, just a wonderful watch, 18,000 VPH. Again, 2.5 hertz. You're finding a lot of these, this is what you're going to find. I mean, if you look at FP Journe, Carreau and Lange, and a lot of these other really top watchmakers, you're going to find a lower Hertz. And I was glad to see it in both of these models. And again, like I said, it's very difficult to compare them one-on-one. Now, the Audemars Piguet, probably you're at least low. I mean, if you consider around 20,000 low, you can find some stainless steel Royal Oaks right about there. Not the extra thin ones, but just the regular ones. And that's about the best you can do, buying new. On the Lange, I think they go down to 14, 15,000, and I think that's on some of the Saxonia. They tend to be smaller. They tend to be, I think, around 35 millimeters, something like that. So those still are expensive. Now, of course, there's always the used market and what you can negotiate on that. But in looking at these two watches, or the two brands of watches, and to me, the most interesting aspect of it where they weren't that comparable. I mean, you couldn't compare like some watch with a Royal Oak like you can with Patek Philippe and a Nautilus versus a Royal Oak, or an Overseas by Vacheron Constantin and Royal Oak. Here, you had a lot of watches that were sort of in different categories. Some of them, were like, pretty much everyday office watches. Anyway, I would very much like to hear from you. Let me know what you think, any comments that you have. And of course, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Arts, the art and science of watch collection.